What's up, YouTube? I want to do a video on basically the upcoming registration in California for even bullet button ARs or semi-automatic mag-fed rifles that have features like a pistol grip, collapsible stock, or muzzle or flash hider. And basically, if you look at history, registration has always led to confiscation. So, obviously, we're all law-abiding citizens. We all, follow laws, or we wouldn't be legally owning firearms. So the point of this video is not to say or to tell you break the law or anything like that. Basically, what I'm saying is what I'm going to do is convert all mine that I have to be compliant within the new law. So because I'm not going to register anything. I don't say on video basically a lot of what I do for a profession, but here I guess it's kind of justified. Basically, I am in law enforcement. I've been lucky enough that I can purchase some long guns under department letterhead or whatever, and basically they're registered assault weapons anyway. But that's a whole nother bird as far as I think what DOJ is concerned. But my wife and my personal firearms or whatever are all compliant. Anything that's not done on letterhead is all bullet buttoned and stuff like that, because probably just like you, I follow the law. And then there's a certain point where you're just like, man, you're making these hoops just almost impossible to jump through. So basically, if you have purchased a long gun before January 1st of 2014, the old DRO system used to just basically tell DOJ that you bought a long gun. They didn't know what caliber, if it was a 22, if it was a shotgun, if it was AR15. None of that information got transmitted to DOJ, not even the serial number. That was all kept on a 4473, which was then kept at the store for ATF records. And it's just all in hard copies, basically at time of purchase. So it is traceable. Like, it takes a lot of footwork to do that. So basically, you see when they do that is usually when guns used in a crime. Excuse me. They'll do a trace. So basically it'll go from the manufacturer. We'll trace it to the distributor. The distributor will trace it to the FFL that received it. At that point, ATF will contact the FFL. FFL will look up the records and say, yeah, Joe Blow bought this rifle, whenever, 5 years ago or whatever. If they have the records. Or basically if they're still in business or whatever. When they go out of business, those records get transferred to ATF. So there is ways of them tracing it. It's not like it's off the record. But after January 1st of 2014, if you bought a long gun in California, they know the make, the model, the serial number, barrel length. It's just like a handgun at that point. That's basically what it changed over to is the same process or paperwork wise as buying a handgun. Now if you have a handgun, on a traffic stop, they can run your name, number, background, whatever, and they could tell every handgun that is basically tied to you. So, and they could tell every long gun that's tied to you after January 1st, 2014. So, basically, I'm telling you, you don't want to get in trouble. You got to make everything compliant. So, this is basically one receiver that had to be compliant. It was a bullet button gun. But like I said, I'm not going to register it. So I'm going to go ahead and make it featureless. And how I chose to do that on this one is a Magpul MOE carbine rifle stock. And it's non-adjustable. It's basically bolted in place, so there is no adjustment. There's nothing that you can telescopic back and forth, so it's considered a fixed rifle stock. The other thing I put on is the Exile Machine grip. I think they call it a hammerhead grip, and then I had to put in an ambidextrous safety, because basically at this point, unfortunately, they're making these guns less safe by doing this, because now you can't actuate the safety. Let me clear this one, just so we know it's empty magazine. Chamber's empty. They kind of make it less safe because you can't grip the rifle like it was intended to. You can't actuate the safety like it was intended to. So you got to basically do workarounds. So you do an ambidextrous safety. I mean, it's still usable. I mean, especially turn it off, it's not bad. Turn it on, it's kind of kind of a pain. You know, you either got to pull your trigger finger up and swipe it. It's kind of awkward to get your thumb to do the motion there to turn it back on safe. But at least coming off, you know, it's fairly natural, or coming back on. So basically off is what you really want, you know, to be able to access in a fast position or whatever. Obviously, if you're putting on safe, you're done with your shooting string, threat's gone away, whatever, you know, whatever you may be doing, turn it off, and then it's back to the, you know, low ready or whatever. Another thing is flash pressers. So you can't run anything considered a flash pressor. So this is a Surefire SOCOM muzzle brake, and at no way in their descriptions do they say it reduces flash or anything like that, because actually this adds a pretty decent flash to it. So, you know, there is no flash suppressing capabilities to this brake. So 16-inch barrel, it's mid-length gas system. Like I said, Surefire brake on there. Now, after, I believe, June, anybody who's not exempt has to turn in their high cap mags or get rid of them, get them out of state, have them panned, you know, whatever the case may be. So you get into a real kind of gray area, because basically this particular receiver my wife purchased. You know, she wanted an AR15, so she purchased it. She purchased it after January 2014. So DOJ knows she has this receiver. They know the make and model or whatever. They don't know the barrel length because it was drove as a receiver. So I thought, well, you know, we got to be compliant because I'm not going to break the law. So this is basically the configuration. Even though it, you know, it kind of sucks, it's obviously not as handy and not as safe to manipulate as a pistol grip. You don't have as good a grip on the firearm. You know, obviously they don't care about any of that. And unfortunately, it's only us law-abiding citizens who are worried about it. You know, this isn't going to make the streets safer. This isn't going to do anything for crime. You know, you're not going to get a guy who's going to basically go commit murder. He's not worried about an added misdemeanor or even felony for running a pistol grip or detachable mag. You know, like I said, in my line of work, I see felons all the time. You know, and I've had debates with them and stuff, and it's actually quite funny. You know, things they say. I was like, hey, did you ever think about, you know, before you went and did X, Y, Z, that, oh man, I need a 10-round mag in this handgun because, you know, if it's over 10 rounds, I'm breaking the law. Of course they don't. You know, no criminal does. That's not even on the radar. It's just us law-abiding citizens, and unfortunately is what it hurts. Because like I said, we want to keep our gun rights, you know, especially here in California, so we're going to do what we got to do. But I'm just saying, I'm not going to register, you know, a gun. I'm going to put it in this configuration or whatever, and I'm not going to do any kind of registration on it. I just don't feel it's necessary. I feel in the long run it's going to lead to confiscation. I mean, California, unfortunately, we've pretty much lost this state. It doesn't really matter who's president or whatever. You know, maybe if we get some decent selections in the Supreme Court, you know, 5 years down the road, we might see some kind of relief. But it's California. I just don't see it happen. Gun rights don't ever get any better here. So, just kind of wanted to show you guys before I ramble on and whatever, because I'm very passionate about the subject. And I'll make another video probably here shortly. More of my views on it that's not specifically rated to a featureless AR. But I just want to put this out there. This is a pretty cost-effective way. I mean, if you have a AR15, you know, in a legal configuration, and you want to do this, I think this was $29. And actually, Amazon sells these Exile grips. So I got it on Amazon, you know, 2-day shipping or whatever for 29 bucks. These MOE stocks you can find on sale a lot of places. Lambo's Armory is a good place. Palmetto's runs them on sale every once in a while, but I mean, about 30 bucks. You know, they're kind of on the cheaper end spectrum of Magpul stocks. So you figure, you know, you're at 30, you're at 30, so you're at 60 bucks there. You can find knockoff muzzle brakes on eBay for 20 to 30 bucks all day long. This actual Surefire is probably going to run you about 55, 60 bucks online. So even if you paid full pop for that, you're 60, you're at 60, you're 120 bucks to get your AR compliant. You know, another option is the AR Patriot locks or the bullet button 2s, or, you know, whatever the new locking system. This is kind of nice because, like I said, then now you can run a detachable mag. It gives you the option because you've lost all the features, so you can have the one, which is detachable mag. So this basically classifies it as the same as like a Mini 14 or a M1A, something like that, where you have no evil features, you just have the detachable magazine and you can run that. So the thing is where it becomes a real gray area, and they don't understand is if I can possess high capacity magazines, if my wife decides to go to the range one day and grabs my shooting bag, well, my shooting bag has high cap magazines in it. So, or standard capacity, I hate even using high cap. Standard capacity magazines. So now she's a felon or whatever because she grabbed the wrong bag. I mean, how ridiculous is that? That we've went through all the lengths to do everything right and comply, and by accident. Same thing when this had a bullet button in it. If I'm shooting one of my registered ARs in the next lane next to her, and she says, "Oh, I got a problem with this. Oh, here, hand it to me. Let me shoot it." Well, I grabbed my 30 round mag on accident, or not on accident. It's just laying there. It's what I'm shooting in my registered AR. I pop it in, and I've just now became a felon. Like I just don't understand that. I mean, you people out there up until June can all possess full capacity magazines legally. I mean, they were all grandfathered in, and it was even how you acquired them is what was basically where you broke the law, back and forth. But I mean, there's even gray areas to that where if you walked into a shooting bay and I left my bag there, and it had 10 high caps in it, and you found it for 10 full capacity magazines, guess what? When they're yours, that's legal. You didn't buy them, you didn't transfer them, you didn't cross state lines with them. That's legal, So you found 10 full capacity magazines, so you could possess them. But if you messed up and popped one in your AR, you just committed a felony. So it's just rough times here in California. Sorry if I'm rambling on, but like I said, it's something I'm really passionate about. I think every law-abiding citizen should own, full capacity magazines, whatever pistol they want. That's that whole roster thing is garbage. And my views are shared pretty much across the board in the rank and file that I work with. There's not too many that have a different view of that. Even though they want to say, oh, law enforcement this, law enforcement that, backs this and backs that. Yeah, maybe the upper big wigs because they're political. That's their job to be a politician. Maybe there, but I can tell you the rank and file is with you. We're not for all this BS. If you want an AR-15, you got a clean background, you can walk in and buy it. Man, I don't care if you buy it. I mean, more power to you. Standard capacity magazines, you're legal possess a Glock 19. I don't care if you have 15 round mags in it. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't make the streets any safer or less safe if a law-abiding citizen possesses that, is what I'm getting at. Because a criminal's going to do it either way. So, anyways, it's just a quick overview. Like I said, I can ramble on for hours on this stuff. But, this is kind of the new face of California ARs, I guess. I mean, there's a few ways of doing it. There's the Thorson stock, there's the grip wraps, everything, however you want to do it. But, I mean, guys, I would just say find a way not to register it. Do it within the law. I'm not telling anybody, and don't, I don't want to get spun out or something or take it out of context. I'm not saying don't break or to break the law. I'm saying do whatever you can to not have to register it. That's what I'm getting at. And like I said, I'm not telling anybody to be a criminal. Just look into it, do what you can do. This is just one option. There's quite a few out there. I mean, it's livable. I mean, yeah, it sucks. I would rather have a pistol grip, but I mean that's doable to at least be able to not register. I'd rather have it like this than registered. So put it that way. So anyways, guys, I'm gonna cut this video off because, like I said, I'll keep going on this subject and it'll just ramble on. So thanks for watching, guys. The new face of California AR-15s here. All right. Thanks, guys.